Ayurveda and essential oils changed my life. I regained my energy, I dealt with chronic pain, gut health challenges, and I was dealing with this all while I was a yoga teacher. So I was doing all the healthy things, right? I was, so what is it that made the difference? What was that big trigger? Lifestyle, right? So what is Ayurvedic lifestyle? Stay tuned and I'll show you how simple this can be and how it can work for you too. Krista with Flourish Yoga, your wellness lifestyle coach using Ayurveda and essential oils. And this is the second video in the Simple Ayurveda 101 series, explaining the Ayurvedic lifestyle, right? And what is, and which is really, I guess, essentially the dinacharya, another one of those Ayurvedic words or Sanskrit words, and which simply means Ayurvedic daily rituals and Ayurvedic diet, okay? So if you're intrigued about Ayurveda, make sure to click on the subscribe button below, and that way you'll get notified when the next video in this series comes out. And we're going to dive in deeper into your dosha in the next one, which is basically your yoga personality type, right? It's the Myers-Briggs of yoga. So we'll look at your dosha and what that means for you. But make sure you take the dosha quiz before that one. So the link is in the description and in the comments. So come prepared for that next week when we dive in deeper. So I've studied Ayurveda for many years now, and I used to teach kids yoga in schools, and I loved that, but I found was having my own health challenges, and I found that the biggest difference I could make for kids was actually helping the teachers and the parents with their lifestyle changes. Because if mama is calm, then everybody's calm, right? Nourish the mother and the child will thrive. So essentially, Ayurveda and essential oils changed my life completely. And the thing about Ayurveda is, one, that it's simple. It's not rocket science. It's ancient wisdom, these ancient traditional wisdoms that were passed on for generations, but no one taught us this. Somehow it got lost. It's lost wisdom. And as humans, I believe we've lost our connection to nature. There's nature, and then there's us. We're kind of sitting on the outside of that. And with Ayurveda, we come reconnected to nature again. We get part of that circle again. And what I love about it is it's simple, it's easeful. I won't say it's easy because we're going to be going against some of the our societal norms and some of the habits that we have or the timing that we have. So it's not necessarily easy to go against the status quo, right? But it is easeful. It does feel really good when you do it, and it's super effective, right? And it just simply makes so much sense. This is what I hear from my students all the time, is that, oh, I can't believe how this just makes sense. When I hear about this, it's just like clicks all those buttons and the light bulbs go off. It's just like they're totally describing me, right? And so while it's not rocket science, science is proving all of these simple wisdoms to be true. I love all the research that's coming out right now on circadian rhythm, intermittent fasting, all these things that were just part of Ayurveda and this ancient wisdom, lifestyle for so long, right? It's basically syncing yourself back to nature. All right, so Ayurvedic lifestyle tip number 1 is to plug into the sun, right? And in Ayurveda, we call this the dinacharya. It's your Ayurvedic daily rhythm. When I teach in my course, the Daily Essentials, we go into a lot more detail on this and how this affects your productivity, when you should exercise, all those kind of things. But basically, think about it as when the sun rises, so do you. You eat during the day. So 3 things. Sun rises, so do you. Eat during the day. And when the sun sets, so do you. Okay? Because basically we have electricity. Like when we got electricity in our world, and don't get me wrong, I love my electricity. I don't want to be without it for very long. I love the backcountry experience, but not for days on end. But when you have electricity and Netflix and screens, it doesn't mean you need to scroll and to binge watch or to work late at night, right? So electricity is an amazing thing, but don't let it disturb your natural rhythm, right? You're in charge, not the charger, okay? So humans are not night owls. It's simply not in our nature. That's a discussion for a whole other video. And I can say that because I used to be one. And when you flip it over, everything just makes so much sense, right? And then there's your time to eat, right? when to eat. We put it on that chart. The daylight hours, right, are when we should eat, because we have the sun is the brightest at that time, and so is our digestive fire. So Ayurveda is the original intermittent fasting, right? And there's such really good research on this as to the effects of when you eat and what that impacts. When you eat more than what you eat, even, right? Which is really good news for us who love food. And this brings us to Ayurvedic tip number 2. I want you to dine with nature. So not only do you eat when the sun is out, but think about it, that's when our fire was the highest, but you also want to eat with the seasons, right? So you want to sync your body to the seasons, and then you'll feel so much better. For example, salads, right? I love them in the summer. So when you have more digestive fire, you're able to process raw veggies and things like that do take a little bit more to process through your body. As opposed to in the wintertime, where soups and stews just naturally are warming and you're naturally able to digest them a little bit easier. It just makes sense, right? And the other aspect of dining with your nature is your nature. And so not everybody can eat the same things. This is where your dosha comes in. Right? And we're going to tap into that next week. So make sure you subscribe to get notified on that one, and take the dosha test. Remember, that link is in the comments and the description. But let's look at a couple examples of this. A little teaser what we're going to talk about next week. If you're a Pitta, right, which has a lot of fire nature in it, and you're maybe feeling a little bit fiery, irritable, then cut out the salsa and the corn chips and cut out the red wine. Right? So even beer can be a better choice for a Pitta that's not going to be inflammatory to your system, whether that's your emotional system or your physical system. If you're a Vata, or your Vata Dosha, and a lot of yogis tend to be Vata nature. That's the creative, that airy type, where they don't like routine and they thrive on that. But popcorn is not for you. It's likely you love it, but it is not going to be helpful for you. Fizzy kombucha is not for you. Too much gas. Right? So gas plus gas equals way too much gas. And so it's too much air in that field. And then we look at kaphas. Okay? Can't forget them. Ice cream may not be your friend, especially in kapha season. And don't worry, we'll talk dosha seasons and all of that in another video. But spring is kapha season. So if you eat a lot of ice cream or dairy in general in the spring, your allergies will flare. Right? If you can cut out dairy, even just for that spring season. So let's say in the Northern Hemisphere, we're looking at spring being like February, March, April kind of time frame. Southern Hemisphere, everything gets flipped, right? So when you're coming into that kind of wet, cool season, that's when kaphas come into play, and that's when you need to cut back on some of those things, and your system will just flow. It just flow with more ease. It's simple, right? It makes so much sense, right? But what happens when things do go out? This brings us to Ayurvedic Lifestyle tip number 3, to heal with nature. Ayurvedic Lifestyle uses food and herbs and essential oils to bring you back into balance. We can also use movement and all these different things that come into play, but basically looking at as nature heals. So if you have challenges, whether it's gut health, focus, pain, hormone imbalances, this is where you need some symptom support at first, right? And it's not always easy to shift this daily routine, especially if you're dealing with something chronic that's going on within it, and to be consistent with it. Consistency is key on this as well. So this is where I love my Ayurvedic essential oils, both for managing symptoms and to keep, and that consistency support to keep me feeling balanced. Okay, so the first step is really to realign with nature's rhythm. And then you don't need as much intervention coming in, right? So we're looking at the root of so many of this dis-ease coming through. So hope that was helpful. And I want you to post below. I'm really curious. What time do you eat dinner? And do you snack late at night, or is dinner your last bite of the day? So this timing is huge in terms of how well you sleep at night. Okay, I got a special bonus for you on this one. I'm going to tell you how to access my Ayurveda course for free. Because it wasn't just Ayurveda that made the difference. That was a start. That kind of got me on the right track. But what helped me manage symptoms and be consistent was when I added essential oils into that picture, right? Which is just like nature's vibrancy at its best. And essential oils, and I should say some nutritional supplements, kind of coming into that healing foundation, giving my body the building blocks it needed to heal itself and to stay on track. So when you purchase a starter kit of essential oils and supplements, I either give you a discount depending on the kit, or you can get access to my whole course for free to go through that. So if you're committing to your wellness journey, I'm going to reward you for that. So if you register for the next Essential Oils for Health class, I will tell you more about that one. The link is in the description. Plus there's a link there to my favorite starter kits using those essential oils and the supplements. And there's some more information on that as well. And of course, I've put a link to the course page so you can see what this Ayurvedic course thing is all about. Because this is really the best way that I can mentor you to make change happen for you and to be consistent and have that full-on support for making these changes that you need in your life. So if you enjoyed this and found it helpful, make sure to like the video, right? And comment below with that, what time do you eat dinner? Because that tells me what kind of content you want and what type of videos to make more of. Then I also want you to check out those playlists for essential oil meditations, yoga and essential oil classes we have on there, some Ayurvedic tips and healthy daily habits, everything that you need for your wellness lifestyle. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out the first video in this series, the Simple Ayurveda 101, and that was What is Ayurveda? So if you're new to essential oils, there's also, you can check out the Ayurvedic Essential Oils playlist on there and register for that class where we can talk one-on-one within that as to getting you started. So what if wellness could be simple, easy, and effective for you? What if you could reclaim that lost ancient wisdom that's being validated by science to boost your energy, improve your immunity, get better sleep, and that list goes on and on and on. This is what Ayurveda is for me and could be for you. Namaste.